Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
You're listening to KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Radio Network.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Mm-mm. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Woo! Y'all, happy Monday. Apologies for being a little tardy for the party, but a brother was trying to rewatch the after show because I watched it this morning and then I tried to rewatch it because I was just, there were just so many little nuggets that I wanted to remember. And will I remember them? Look, I don't know. No promises because I didn't take notes on them. But shout out to those of you watching on Twitch, those of you watching on Facebook, those of you watching on X, and of course, our family watching on YouTube. It is a members only live. You know, we always do that at the first of the month. Shout out to our members. Thank you to everyone that's becoming members. You'll see that there are all kinds of really great perks to being members. And members, I owe you a couple of exclusives, so stay tuned for that. You did get some exclusives for our Black Friday sale. That's still going on for our members. You check under the post tab. You'll see the updates in regards to that. But it is also Cyber Monday, so are you okay? Merch is now available. You can get 15% off with the Cyber Monday code. So use that today at houseofkempire.com. We will also be live with our friends over at Butter later today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. PST. The link is available in the description because the sales, the giveaways, everything will be on their website, but we will be streaming here as well on YouTube. But if you want a chance to win, a chance to get the deals, that will be on their website. The direct link is available in the description. All right. So I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. If you follow me on socials, and you know I did. I just finished up my last leftovers yesterday. Yes. It was good. I still got some stuff left over, but I'm going to throw it all out. You know, at this particular point, you know, I gave to our front desk people. And I was just like, all right, okay, I'm over the leftovers, right? Right now I need just something regular. All right, sidebar. Okay, I know a lot of sidebars today. I hope you guys are doing well, okay? That was a sidebar. On Friday, we did a dating live, which was so much fun. I re-listened to it yesterday, and shout out to those of you that were so kind to share your stories or call in and share your experiences or ask for advice, and all of you that shared your advice in the comment section. The books that Christina mentioned during that live, I did post in the description of that video, so be sure to check that out if you missed it, okay? You could also hear it on the podcast. Along with hearing this live recap today will be available on the podcast. Yes, Angel says, Angel, I still have some of the coleslaw left, but I just feel like it might be time for me to throw it out. I think it's still good because I had some yesterday. Angel says the Jamaican coleslaw looked bomb. And it came out good. I gave it to a couple people that they've never had Jamaican coleslaw before, and they were like, yeah. So, yeah. I think it might still be somewhat good, but I'm like, you know, I might make some more because I still had some leftover cabbage and carrots and all the stuff that you need to make it. So I might make some more. All right. Your agent, Keela, says the dating life is always great. We had a good time. And again, shout out to everyone that called in. Noda Queen says, I always miss them. I apologize. I really didn't give much notice, but it's okay. You can still be a part of the replay crew. You can still learn from the stories that were shared. So be sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much already for 185 likes. Thank you. Appreciate that. But today's live is our recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. If you guys had to rate this week's episode from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you're watching on YouTube, you can vote in the live chat poll. But if you're watching on Twitch or if you're watching on X, be sure to let us know how you would rate it. I thought it was a decent episode. You know, I really enjoyed last week's episode. I enjoyed this week's episode. Here's the thing that there's a couple of things. I'm going to try and go light on Kiarna but I'm still going to speak my truth. And the only reason why I'm going to go light on Kiana is because, like, that's my future sister-in-law, and I just feel... I just feel like this is just going to cause issues in the family. And I don't want to cause issues in the family. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a family thing. And I just don't want to cause a rift already within the family. Okay? So if I go a little bit light on Kiana, please understand that I'm thinking about the family. I'm just thinking about the family, and you guys need to understand that. And if you can't understand that, then you're not about family. Okay? Okay? Damn. Come on. Dion said, "Sir, he's married." Is he? Dina says that he's married. He had a ring on. Yes, he's married to me. Come on. Okay? Anyway. Lisa. Oh, Lord. Please understand I'm being facetious, y'all. Calm down, all right? Alma says, KEMPIRE, I don't know that he's a billionaire or millionaire. No shade to him. Please understand, I'm being facetious. You guys ruined the joke with reality. Okay? Stop. Stop ruining the joke with reality. Okay. Danny says, please go ham on Kiana. You know I was going to. I'm not going to let any of that. I don't care. We still do it with Angel, too. I was being facetious. You guys know how to ruin a joke. All right. Lou says, who's watching on Twitch, says, please don't go light. I was joking, y'all. Because, oof. Look, oof. All right, so let's get to this. Let's get to our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. Let's start at the beginning, and that's basically where we ended. The to be continued from last week when it comes to this reasonably shady party. Okay, so they decided to confront Stacey because they believe that Stacey is the person that brought this information back to Chris. If you saw it last week, we saw a preview, and I did a separate video. And I normally never do a video on the preview, but the preview was so juicy. I said, not Stacey being vindicated yet again. But she was. Stacey was definitely vindicated yet again. They keep trying to come for her. And here's the thing, because I know people think that, oh my God, you're just so team Stacey. I'm not team Stacey. But what I can see is the constant focus on Stacey this season is such a turnoff. You're making everyone team Stacey because you guys keep coming for Stacey and it keeps falling flat. Like Ashley's notes. It keeps falling flat. And Ashley keeps coming for Stacey, even when during the after show, which is why I'm late, watching the after show, Monique said to her, like, well, no, the text messages that Stacey showed me were actual text messages because I was able to scroll. But Ashley was like, well, no, let's be clear. It was screenshots. And Monique was like, no, it was actual text messages that she sent me, that she showed me. So, but Ashley she's like, yeah, but still. Ashley is so dead set. She's stubborn on believing, or she just wants to make sure she produces this storyline that Stacey is a liar. I believe that Stacey is a liar. Okay. However, I feel like all of these women are lying, and not just in the past, but currently. And we have in this moment where they were like, how about we call Chris Samuels? They call Chris Samuels, who sounded perturbed when they called him because he knows that they were filming. And he's like, I don't know nothing about what y'all talking about. And when Stacey shows her text messages that she's left him on red and she hasn't really engaged in conversation with him, said to me everything that I needed to know. Obviously, he was interested in Stacey. Was he interested in being on the show? Monique seems to be of that impression that he does. He's surrounding himself with a lot of the women on this show, like Charisse. And remember, she didn't like Charisse. Her and Charisse had a falling out, and she never liked when Charisse was around. It makes me wonder how Monique will act with Charisse being around now. She seems like she's still in the same place that she feels. A little not that interested in being around Charisse. I think here's the thing. I don't think any of these people are innocent when it comes to doing certain things to be on this show. So I feel like Monique and Giselle making up is for the show. And they both probably still do not like each other, but for the greater good of Monique getting this check, being on the show, promoting what she needs to promote, Giselle continuing. I think Giselle is going to do what she needs to do for the progress of the show. Okay? So I believe that's why they're willing to make peace. So I don't believe that it's real. I definitely thought maybe it was real when watching the BravoCon panel, but then I was like, no, it's not real. It's again for the show. Which is, look, fine. A lot of you want them to move on. You don't want them stuck in the place that they were 5 seasons ago. I understand that. It feels as if, we'll see, based off this conversation that's going to happen between Giselle and Monique, it feels as if they decide, you know what, if anything, we can be civil. We don't have to be best of friends. We can still shade each other. It would sort of be like a frenemy situation, very similar to what Giselle and Karen have together. All right? So at the top of this episode, though, Stacey is getting into it with Kiarna for not having a husband. Okay, you remember how it ended. She was like, Kiarna's screaming at the top of her lungs with that annoying voice, screaming at the top of her lungs, you don't, what did she say? Oh, I would never trust you around my husband. And Stacey's like, you don't have one. And she's like, you don't either. And then she's like, what do I want of yours? And she's like, oh, like, what do you have going on? And Kiarna's like, my life, my man, my this, my that. And I'm just like, oh God, it's not landing the way that Kiarna thinks that it's landing. It's not. Especially when you say my man. Who? Greg? Okay. And I believe, she wants to, again, I've seen this behavior before from people I know where they kind of up, even though they know that their man is a scrub. And I'm not saying that Greg is a scrub. I'm just exaggerating. I'm based off of what I've seen with other people. I don't believe that Greg bought that house on his own. And I don't believe that he volunteered to help buy the condo. So you're telling me Greg could buy this house and he can, and I'm not saying that he can't, I'm not, but based on the business he's in and the situation and the amount of kids he has and what he's going through with his ex-wife, I'm not believing that Greg is buying this house. Remember the house that they were building together, which I 100% believe their names were still on it. And he's going to help her buy this condo. I'm saying help buy the condo. He's saying buy the condo for her. I think that conversation, again, is another ploy of her overcorrecting and making it seem to the audience, no, Greg is that man. Okay, girl, he's not. He's not, girl. Look, he's not. She's like, my man, my this, my condo, my that. I'm like, girl, and I love that for you, but this is exactly what I'm saying. That's all you bring to the table, especially when it comes to reality television. Okay? Exactly. Deborah says, I'm Team K's mom. Same. Gorgeous. And the entire family's gorgeous. So Stacey is just like, she shows off her engagement ring, and she's just like, that cloudy diamond. I don't know if it was cloudy. Jazzy had me laughing because Jazzy did look at the diamond. Jazzy's a good addition. And when I say a good addition, it doesn't mean that I think that Jazzy is a perfect housewife. No, but I think she would be a good housewife on this show. I think she would play the game in regards to getting along with people that you need to get along with to move forward. I don't think she's going to stay stuck. I think she is going to, especially when I see her on the after show with Tia and Giselle. I think she would be good for Real Housewives of Potomac. But we said that her first season. We saw the potential. It was the whole Darius baby mama stuff that made us go like, yeah, this is going left. But every person has something. So I don't think that's enough to be like, okay, we're done with Jazzy. So Jazzy, when Kiarna says the ring was cloudy, Jazzy's like, She's like looking down. and Stacey is just like, oh, yeah, but it's better than having nothing. Look, do I want to get into the whole, when they try to, your comeback is I have a man and you don't have a man? I don't care about any of that stuff, but they keep coming for Stacey. So you know what? Stacey's going to go for her weak spot, and her weak spot is her man. Her weak spot is her man. So Stacey blasts her, she's like, for not having a husband. Karen asks, where's Timo? Where's Timo? Again, I don't blame Timo for not wanting to be around this group. It seems like he's not wanting to be around this group, not just Stacey keeping him away from this group. Okay? But again, could they have had a conversation where she's like, yeah, if they ask you to be a part of the group, just say no. Just act like you don't want to be a part. Very possible. He doesn't seem like someone's holding him there, though. Based on what we've seen with Timo and Stacey, it definitely gives he's into her. I mean, they were together for how many years before this? And she's a beautiful woman. So I would, and let's call a thing a thing. Since Iyanla's coming back to own, let's call a thing a thing. Noda Queen says cloudy compared to nothing. 8. Yeah. Let's call a thing though. Timo ain't the best looking guy. They ain't got the best personality. He might got a little pocket change. But when you look at Stacey, come on now. Stacey is statuesque. She's a beautiful woman. She learned German for him. She's a beautiful woman. So that's the prize. He probably that's the one that got away. And she has my child. I can see him wanting to get that old thing back. Just saying. Come on. All right. So Giselle says that Stacey can't be trusted around husbands or children. First of all, the husband's part, okay, maybe. But the children part, I was like, Giselle is dead set on having an issue with Stacey, which is so weird to me. And you see it even when Stacey is like, you know what, congratulations on your event, but I'm going to go. This is after everything blows up. We're going to go back. And Giselle, it's like, oh, thank you. And then when they try to stop Stacey from leaving, Wendy and Jazzy, Giselle's like, I thought you said you were going to go, just go. Didn't y'all think that was weird, mean girl behavior? Like, she just, as politely and with some coof, said, congratulations on your event, I'm going to go. And now you're kicking her out, like you're going to be kicking her out. That was so weird and gross, Giselle. And I think it reminded people, Giselle hasn't changed. She hasn't. She has not changed. And I told you, only time would tell if Giselle really changed. She hasn't. But let me backtrack. Kendra says, KEMPIRE, we need to pick the next housewives here in the chat. We are experts. You're right. At this particular point. All right. So Giselle says that Stacey can't be trusted around husbands or children. That's a big, bold statement. Can't be trusted around husbands or children? Hey, Kentucky Poppy's watching on X. See you. So Stacey encourages them. It's like, why don't we call Chris? She's the one who initiated that. So why don't we call Chris? According to the after show, Ashley claims that Stacey says that she didn't have Chris's number. I don't know if I believe that. We didn't see it on camera because my thing is Stacey knows that these women know Chris. Anyone could get Chris's number. She's like, why don't we call Chris? So Sharice is like, oh, I have Chris's number. And she calls Chris. So when she calls Chris, and she tells Chris that we're filming. And Chris says, I don't know nothing about that ish y'all talking about. Okay. All right. And again, it was another moment. Let's count them off. The amount of moments that Stacey has been vindicated in this group that has been so dead set on making her a villain this season. It's weird. It's very weird to me. And it's working against you guys. Have you not learned from other recent seasons where people have done this? Where you guys are fixated on one person and ganging up on one person? And mind you, these are grown women. This is not grammar school. Singer DST says, and still she rises. She's right. You're right. Oh, yes. Lene is watching on Twitch. She pointed out my new water bottle. Mm-hmm. Let's zoom in. Okay. This is my new water bottle. I got it from Marshall's. I got it before the season really started. Now, I don't know what you're going to find at Marshall's. They're not sponsoring the show, but here we are. Okay, maybe next year. Maybe next year. But speaking of sponsors, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Cash App. It's the holiday season, and unfortunately, scams are on the rise. I'm so excited to welcome Cash App as a sponsor of today's live. And I've been using Cash App more recently than ever before. And I haven't realized the amount of new things that they've added to the app to secure my safety and your safety. Now more than ever, with the holiday and all these different scams that are out there, you want to make sure when sending money to your friends, family, or someone you owe money, easily and safely. Scammers know the holidays are busy for everyone, which can make us all targets for scams. That's why Cash App builds in protection to help keep your money safe while you're checking off your shopping list. If you're about to send money to someone for a deal that's too good to be true and Cash App flags it as a potential scam, they'll warn you before you send the money. Cash App also gives you an extra layer of protection with features like security lock. You can require a PIN, Face ID, or fingerprint to unlock your account and move money, so even if someone gets a hold of your unlocked phone at a holiday party, your money is right where you left it. Give yourself some peace of mind this holiday season and download Cash App. I've literally have utilized the Cash App feature recently a lot and noticed the new protections that they've added to the app. So, of course, we've gotten you covered in regards to an exclusive code. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn additional cash. For real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, SECURE10, in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. We all love free money, don't we? Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services are provided by Cash App's bank partners, prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Incorporated brand, and visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. More information on Cash App and your code will be available in the description. And we're back. Shout out to Cash App. More information, again, will be available in the description in regards to our friends over at Cash App. All right, so back to this. For those that just joined us, we're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode as well. Back to this scene. So they call Chris, and Chris basically says, I don't know nothing about ish y'all talking about. And look, I feel like it cleared Stacey in that moment, but is that enough to say that she didn't call him and say something? We shall see until we get to the later episode. So Kiarna then says, how do we know? How would he know? Any of y'all could have ran with this information. One of y'all could have told this information to Chris. Any one of y'all. Or even people that were there in attendance that were watching and hearing this conversation. Any one of y'all, you guys have been coming for Stacey this entire season. It wouldn't shock me that one of you brought this information to Cookie, and now Cookie is saying, oh, I could see you guys plotting and planning this. We've talked about this last week. There are all sorts of possibilities here in regards to how that information got back to Chris, if it even got back to him. Okay? We don't know. Y'all really were dragging Cookie last week. She should be happy that she wasn't on camera this week, but they're still talking about her. Just saying. Just saying, okay? All right. So Giselle says that nothing would convince her that Stacey didn't tell Chris. Do you hear? Based off of that, she says this in her confession, nothing would convince her. So you guys are just dead set on having an issue with Stacey, which is so weird and just, again, very typical of the mean girl behavior that we see on these shows. So Charisse then has her own story about Stacey. So about 6 months ago, Charisse was hanging out with Stacey. Charisse, are you part of the welcome party when people are in Potomac? So it always seems as if Charisse is always tight. Charisse, are you a social climber? Because I feel like anytime there's a newbie on the show, you're becoming friends with them. And look, I don't know if it's you just wanting to help. It doesn't feel that way because everyone says that Charisse is always so desperate to be on this show. But now I'm starting to think that you are like a social climber. You're just always wanting to be around these women and on the show. You did it with NECA. I feel like you do it with all of the newbies on Potomac. You try to do that with Monique. Remember, she was friendly with Monique. But maybe she's just part of the welcome party in Potomac. I don't know. All right. So apparently 6 months ago, Charisse went out with Stacey, and they were out and about, and I guess they were with a bunch of married men. I don't know how Charisse doesn't think that this doesn't land with us looking at her with the side eye too. You were sitting there hanging out with her, and you were also talking with these married men. But okay. So Charisse says when one of the guys walks away and they find out that that he was married, is apparently, according to Charisse, who's close friends with Giselle. Oh, convenient. Let's just tell this story from 6 months ago on camera. Another thing. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but it's another thing. Okay? So Charisse says that they were hanging out. And Stacey and this guy were flirting, and then she finds out that he was married, and allegedly, Stacey says, "What does that have to do with me?" Oh. What does that have to do with me? Okay, she was in her single era, y'all, in homewrecker era. So anyway, it's another thing. So Giselle tells Wendy about Angel's issues with her. And I hate to see when I see these housewives, when we see that they're producing. And that's clearly what we see in this moment, Giselle and Wendy producing. Because Giselle goes up to Wendy. She's like, well, Angel told me that she still has issues with you. So Wendy's like, oh, Angel, you still have issues with me? So Angel decides to come over and have a conversation. And Angel... Did you guys pay attention to Angel's body language? Because her body language and her smile was giving, it's not that deep, it's not that serious. She's like, well, I find that you, you've been dismissive. And I'm just like, why is she smiling? I literally wrote that in my notes. I was like, why is she smiling like this? Because again, I don't think that it's that deep. So Angel says that Wendy has been dismissive and snide to her. Okay. Here's the thing, when has she been dismissive and snide to you? Was it after you turned on her during the whole Preakness situation at Kiana's condo? Because like I said to you before, I feel like I understand why Wendy wouldn't see it for you anymore, because it seemed like you guys were in a good place, and then you flipped on her. So she says that Wendy has been dismissive and snide to her. A lot of people are saying that they're just so upset with Wendy that she's even gotten into this whole insurance fraud situation because she's having such a good season. She is. She's having a good season. She looks amazing. This episode alone, I feel like we got like 5 different looks from Wendy, from her confessional to in-scene moments. And all of them, she looks great. I really love the bob though. The bob one, I was like, yeah. And the outfit, Wendy. Y'all want to say that Angel, y'all want to say that she looks like a permanent Instagram filter. That's some good work, okay? It's not like she's walking around looking crazy. She looks amazing. She looks amazing. So, anyway, Angel says that, she's been dismissive and snide. And Wendy says, I don't know why you have a beef with me. It's a one-sided beef. It's definitely a one-sided beef. Wendy then brings up, she's like, I heard from what was it? Ashley or something, whoever brought it to her, that Angel, it was Tia, brought it to her that you were upset that she didn't say hello to her in the airport. Even though they showed footage, not in this episode, but the previous episode, where Wendy did say hello to Angel. But Wendy says to her, like, did you say you saw me at the airport? Did you say hello to me? And then Angel's just like, well, this is just another example of you being dismissive to me. And she's like, no, this is another example of you being flat. Oh. This is just another example of you falling flat. Okay? So then all of a sudden it gets back into Stacey and Kiarna getting into it. Kiarna says that Stacey's ring is cloudy. All right. Stacey says to Kiarna, run. How about you go run after Greg? Okay. Then Kiarna decides to bring up TJ. Why don't you go and pay TJ? And she's like, that's such an old story. Here you go. So Stacey just is like, she's over it, and she tells Giselle that she's leaving. Thank you for inviting me. Congratulations. So she's like, oh, you're leaving. And she's like, yes. And so she makes her exit. But Wendy and, first of all, rewinding back, because after Stacey and Kiarna got into it, I have to give it to them. I love this new duo between Wendy and Stacey. And you see Wendy dabbing, I guess it was hot in there. It was hot in there, apparently. Hot. So she's dabbing Stacey, and she's like, put some Vaseline on. Because she feels like she's fighting everyone. But back to the fight between Wendy and Angel. Because as Angel's trying to leave, she's just like, I'm over this. I'm gonna leave. She's like, Wendy starts laughing. We don't want you here. Like, what? You act like we are asking for you to be here. So Stacey goes up to Giselle, congratulates her, says that she's leaving. So she makes her way to the elevator, but Wendy and Jazzy go after her. Jazzy and Stacey, I believe, have a falling out. I don't know if we're going to see it during the season, but you can definitely see it. Because I think if they did have the falling out, we would have seen Jazzy with Wendy and Stacey. And I honestly would have preferred that, but fine, whatever. I don't know what happened between Jazzy and Stacey. So, and mind you, if you came to my DC show, not the last one, but the previous one when Stacey was there, she talked about how close she was with Jazzy, which is kind of sad. She said she even told Jazzy to come to our show with her, but they ended up not coming together. So anyway, Wendy and Jazzy try to convince Stacey. Stacey's like, "Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving?" She's like, "I'm tired. I'm tired of them constantly coming for me, whatever it may be." I don't know. There could have been more that happened. Maybe she overheard them bringing up what Cherie said, and that's why she was hightailing it out of there. I don't know. But she's like leaving, and then all of a sudden Giselle comes over, and she was just like, "I thought you said you were leaving," and then she's hitting she's like, so leave. It was so weird. It was so forced. It was, and Jazzy's confused, like all of us. She turns to Giselle. She's like, "Wait, you're mad at her? Like, why are you mad at Stacey?" She's like, I don't know what I'm getting with Stacey, from the things that I've heard. No, you are piling on because you're a mean girl. You've always been a mean girl. You haven't changed. This is who you have always been. Because you could have played neutral. You could have just let that moment happen, but you wanted to shut it down. You wanted to have a moment. You wanted to have a moment. You could have easily let that go. But you didn't. This is why people love Karen. I'm not saying that Karen hasn't lied. We know Karen has lied. She lied to our faces for an entire season, her last season. But Karen is much more likable than Giselle. And this is why Giselle felt the strain of this season, because she's like, we really need Karen in here. Yeah, because you're not likable, and now you feel like you have to carry the show, and you can't. Nia says that Giselle was doing the most. She was. It was annoying. Hey, Shadrika? Shadrika says, as much time as I spend on this channel, I might as well become a member. Thank you for becoming a member. Yes, guys, it is a members only live chat. If you want to become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join, or you can click the join button. It should be under this video or somewhere around this video. Become a member today. Shout out to all of our members. Some of you guys have been members for years. We appreciate that. Or some of you have been members for a few weeks or a few months. We appreciate that as well. Squirtle 101, thank you for being a member. Well, everyone here that sends super chat is a member, so I'll just say thank you, guys. Thank you for the super chat. Squirtle says, Kay gives real Flavor of Love vibes. I just want Flavor Flav to come give her a clock so that she can be off our screen. Damn. What a throwback. Amber, thank you so much for the super chat. Amber says, coming in hot on Kay. She keeps dragging Detroit when taking digs at Stacey. Oh, by the way, when are you coming to the D KEMPIRE? I should have came to the D for the Boys Mind Tour. That's what I should have did. I would love to come to Detroit. Duchess, thank you so much for the super chat. Duchess says, Kiarna is a flop. Damn. A pretty well-dressed flop, but a flop nonetheless. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Your Agent Keela, thank you for the super chat. Agent Keela says, this is Stacey's show at this point. Darby is a mess. We're going to talk about Darby in a second. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Noda Queen says, hashtag fire Ashley Darby. Whoa. Do you guys think that it's time? Look, I've talked about this. I'm putting it on y'all now. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says, the Mean Girl link up about Stacey was embarrassing to watch. Yeah, because that's literally what happens after this scene. Giselle being the oldest was the most loud. Tia disappointed me. Kay, nobody wants Greg but you. Ashley, we don't like you. All of them equals a flop. Yeah. Greg was there. Where was Greg? But Greg ended up coming later. And I also saw that Wale and Ashley ended up having a conversation eventually. And all of a sudden, that fever that she had for Wale in her confessional, she was all flirty with him. Girl, Wale, I hope you find someone that is not as... You really dodged a bullet when it comes to Ashley. Okay? Because Ashley's like, he hasn't been married before. He hasn't had kids. And that's why I'm not really that interested. I want a more mature guy. Okay, girl. Zamunda. Gary. Zamunda, thank you for the super chat. Zamunda says, Chris was lying too. I don't know if Chris was lying. I think you have to pay attention to the words that Chris used. It seemed as if he didn't want to engage at all. He didn't confirm that Stacey told him anything. He's like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Nia, thank you so much for the super chat. Nia says, I will call in to voice my opinion, but I just wanted to send some love. You are a friend in my mind and always brighten my day. Come through to Toronto. Thank you, Nia. I definitely want to come to Toronto, too. Probably just not this time of year. It's kind of cold. But is Toronto beautiful during Christmas? Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, Giselle hasn't changed. She just found a new victim. Ashley thinks just because she's dressed like Inspector Gadget, she's an investigator. Y'all notice that Ashley... Look, I'm not saying that the looks on Ashley have looked bad, because I will say they look good, but very much like what was said in the after show between Stacey and Wendy, it's like the fashion is wearing her and she's not wearing the fashion. So it feels like she's playing dress up. And it doesn't feel like her. And these bad wigs, they got to stop with the bad wigs. When she had that scene with her mother, I was like, oh my gosh, Ashley, you look so much more beautiful and natural with your own head of hair. But I get it. A lot of times people wear braids and wigs for protective styles. But at least if you're going to do it right. Come on. Daisy, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, Angel using every SAT word she knows irks my spirit. Please go away, Webster's Dictionary. Well, let me just say this, because they talked about this during the after show about Mercurial and her using the word. And they were like, girl, just use this. No, I just want to say this. And this is probably the only time that I defend Angel. Okay. Well, maybe not the only time. I don't mind when people are using words that I don't necessarily know. I'm gonna be like, what's that word? And I'm going to add it to my vocabulary. We should be encouraging each other to expand our vocabulary because it's great for our brains, especially as we get older. I don't care. I don't care that she's using every SAT word. I mean, she has been doing a lot with that. But if that's just naturally how she speaks, fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think she should dumb herself down for this group. But I think what people are getting at, they feel like she is trying to appear smarter than everyone else. I think that's why people are a little turned off by it. They're thinking, oh, you don't use these words in your everyday life. We don't know that. This is our first time seeing her. So I'm open to the fact that Mercurial, any other word that she wants to use, I'm like, okay, expand my vocabulary. Jules, thank you so much for the super chat. Jules says, Stacey never said that she didn't have Chris's number. She said, I don't talk to him. Well, no, what I'm saying is what Ashley said on the after show. We never saw it in the scene, but on the after show, Ashley says that that's what Stacey said. I don't know about that. They really, I don't believe Ashley. Jules says that Stacey never said that she didn't have Chris's number. She says, I don't talk to him. Why would she call him to disprove their accusation? Ashley also lied that Stacey showed screenshots, not text. Mo corrected that lie. Yeah, in the after show. User with a bunch of numbers, but we know you. We know who you are. Thank you so much for the super chat. Unpopular opinion, but I think Giselle was mad about the conversation getting leaked and not so much about Stacey. You think? You think that Giselle was upset that Monique's conversation was told to Chris? I don't know if I believe that. I don't believe that. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says Jizzy had over a decade to get her hair together. You're right. All of them. It's just like, it's like they like getting dragged. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Noda Queen says Ashley only started wearing wigs, code switching when her marriage was falling apart. I wonder why. T. Oh, okay. Skiji Ace, thank you so much for the super chat. Skiji says normally can't stand Ashley, but her lack of receiving good parenting makes me feel sorry for her a little. Thank God for her uncle, or she'd be worse. Uncle Lump. All right, so maybe is that the perfect segue? Yes. Let's. Okay, before we get to that, let's get to the rest of this episode, guys. We're almost at 500 likes with over 2,000 people. We should definitely have a lot more likes. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We will also be live later today at 3 p.m. Eastern for our Married to Medicine recap. That should be a quick and easy one. Not a lot went on in this season premiere, but I say that all the time, and then we're there for 2 hours, but we can't be there for 2 hours because I'm going to be live with our friends over at Butter on their website. Link is available in the description of this video. We'll be live with Butter today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. PST for their Cyber Monday sale. Clock the glow. So join me for the special discounts and giveaways that will be happening. All right. So be sure to check that out. Okay. So back to this. So Stacey's at home with her daughter. Okay. This is all I have to say about the scene. I like this scene with Stacey and Timo and their daughter, but it's not lost on me that we had a scene last season where TJ was making those sorry pizzas. That was not, I don't know what that was. That was like a box pizza that they were making. So they were making pizzas. So it's not lost on me that this season, we're in their home in this beautiful kitchen making pizza in a real way, okay? Together as a family. And they even, do a little bit of a kiss outside. But I told you last week, I'm like, you guys are all hugged up at the pool. And y'all haven't told Arabella yet that y'all together? So I don't know. But again, I don't believe that Stacey is the pillar of truth. Okay, please understand this. I might defend Stacey, but I also don't think that she's the pillar of truth. Okay? But I find that to be interesting. So they sneak a kiss because they haven't told Arabella yet. They're the parents. They're the adults. Okay? So she gives an update on, first of all, Timo doesn't know what's the pizza flipper thingy? The pizza shovel? That he called it the pizza shovel. And she's like, what are you talking about that you need? But at least he's being like active and he's there, but he's not living with them. So I thought that was interesting. They're not living together. So where is he living? Is he living in the apartment in DC? Is that where he's living? I don't know. But apparently he's not home a lot either. So then there's that. So we find that out. They're still not sharing with Arabella that they're back together. Because they're the adults and she's trying to protect her daughter. Okay. All right. So Stacey then talks about her new business with the family. And she says, that, she's trying to build this business and she has a couple of meet and greets and things like that. We even get to see a flashback of her putting this business together. And her actively putting, I guess they filmed it. of her, creating these gummies. Her daughter's sort of like, oh, I'm so happy that you have a gummy bear line. So I don't know if she realizes that there's something. Hopefully she doesn't see it around the house and be like, Mommy, can I have a gummy bear? Just saying. Damn, the next level girl says, please skip Ashley's part. We don't care. Well, I have something that I need to say in regards to that. So I can't skip it, but I won't spend too much time on it, okay? Because that's the next scene that we need to talk about. Okay? So Ashley is at home with her sons, and her mother comes over. So Ashley, her son Dean is like, oh, a keyboard. So they go to the keyboard, and he starts trying to play. Ashley decides that she wants to sing a little something. Healing and I'm thriving. Honestly, when she sings it live, it sounds so much better than whatever EDM version and over auto-tune version that she decided to do with it. But okay. All right. Fine. Ms. Esquire says, I love this approach. I think reintroducing yourself as a couple to your child after separation needs to be done carefully. So you think that's what's happening? I just felt like the hugged up at the pool thing felt a little bit much. I could understand maybe like, the shoulder, but they were like hugged up, like they're back together. I feel like that can be confusing to a child. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't know what's happening with us. Jan says, hold on. Foxy says, it sounded okay. Sorry, I was giving her some credit, okay? Jan says, Ashley keeps violating us with her music. We'll put music in quotes. I'll add that part. Okay. So, healing and thriving. You remember last season, the mother just rolled her eyes at Ashley singing. But this time she was dancing. Maybe because we all pointed it out, how she rolled her eyes at Ashley singing. So she was dancing along, healing and I'm thriving. Okay. Anyway, so Ashley does that. So she goes outside with her mother to have a conversation. Ashley talked about Josh, okay? And she says she doesn't really see much of a future with Josh because, again, very much what she said about Wale. He doesn't have any kids. He hasn't been married. She talks about during the after show that both her and Monique are saying that they would love to get married again and have children. So apparently Ashley would like to have another child. She says that her son has said that, you're going to have a daughter. I'm going to have a sister. And he says it with a lot of assurance. Okay. Producers, we don't care. She can have that off camera. I keep saying this every season. I don't need Ashley to come back. She's become she's always never been the most likable, but because we're now 10 seasons in, it's like, oh my gosh, can we get a break from Ashley? They need to normalize that, where they give housewives a break from the show, where you have a couple of seasons where you miss them. That's why I feel like now that NeNe has not been on RHOA for so long, her return would be huge ratings for the network. And I know, look, please understand, I remember how NeNe was at the end and what she said in her lawsuit and things like, please understand that. But I feel because she hasn't been on the show in a long time, people would welcome her back, even people that didn't necessarily love her. But anyway, so she says, she mentions that she also had a conversation with Uncle Lump about Josh, and he basically was like, you need to move on. And then they talk about Ashley's mother and her relationship with, I guess this guy's not even her husband, but she does have a child, a grown child, with this man because they've been together for 23 years. And apparently she says that he has a problem with alcohol. I'm guessing he's an alcoholic. So she says that, because remember, they've talked about this before in previous seasons. They even flashed back when Gollum, jump scare, they flashed back to when he was talking about, she can't keep taking care of this man. So, Ashley is very frustrated. She doesn't like this man. She feels like her mother is forcing herself to work, and she doesn't want her mother to work so hard. Her mother's working 12, 13 hours, and she's like, but I like working. Yeah, but I don't want, she says, but I don't want you to feel like you have to work. And apparently this man is not doing anything, and she's there paying for everything. Here's my thing with this. I get where Ashley's coming from, because Ashley's like, I don't have any other parents. And didn't her father, her biological father, she didn't have a relationship with him. Didn't he also pass away recently? And she's concerned, and I believe that this is a real concern for Ashley, that her mother is sickly. She has heart disease. She even says in this moment, I was sick yesterday, and, I threw up, and there was a little bit of blood in it. And Ashley's like, that's very concerning for me. You're my only parent. You're literally like my heart outside of my body, along with my sons. And she's, I have real concerns about this. Here are my thoughts on the situation. I get where Ashley's coming from, but at what particular point, I don't believe Ashley's mother has the best judgment. So at this, and I get it, Ashley, that's her mother. She's going to always try and fight for her mother. But at this particular point, the man isn't the enemy. The only person here that's a grown adult that should be making better decisions is Ashley's mother. And based off of history, Ashley's mother doesn't make the best decisions. And apparently, we think at this particular point, Ashley having this conversation with her mother, she thinks that her mother's finally going to make the smart decision. I don't think so. I don't think Ashley's mother's going to she has made bad decisions basically her entire life. I'm sorry. Come on, you're on a reality show. We're going to talk about a thing. Call a thing a thing. She's not going to change. She's going to stay with this man until this man, very much like the Danish deception, breaks up with her. I'm sorry. I will be doing a separate video podcast, something on the Danish deception. I got into it over the weekend. I was like, and apparently you guys have feelings, and we could talk about those feelings. But that's the only way that this man, but why would he leave her? She's paying for roof and everything. She's probably paying for the alcohol and everything as well. Thank you, Keela. Keela says, Keela says Kep is out here doing the Lord's work, watching her scenes, because the only person watching her is Sheila. Y'all are a mess. But that's the only reason why I watch it, because I know people aren't watching and they're watching my recaps, which I appreciate. Thank you. But I do watch it, and I also wanted to mention this, because at what particular point are we going to be like, your mother is the problem here? Not this man is the problem, but so is your mother. And she's made bad decisions, poor decisions your entire life. So we're in season 10, and we would flash back to how many seasons before when Gollum had to say what he had to say? She's not changing. She's sticking with this man till this man decides to leave her. And he's never going to leave her. You're right. Let's pull out the tiny violin for Sheila. One time for Sheila. One time for Sheila. Okay? So I feel like at this particular point, Sheila's not going to change. Sheila's not leaving that man. And you need to just accept it. Dion says, I fast forward through Ashley's scenes. Damn. All right, well, let's move on, because I got more to talk about. Guys, you're just joining us. We're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac. How would you guys rate it? If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know as well and your thoughts on the episode. I did not watch the interview with, I saw some clips where surfaced today. Keith, I have not watched the Claudia interview with Angel. She kept looking down at notes to read the Housewives. Who? Claudia? Who kept on looking down? I don't know. Okay. Right? Jan says, yeah, I'm confused why Ashley is still shocked behind her mom. I mean, look, she has every right to express concern to her mom, but I'm just saying this, Ashley. I know you watch, girl. Hey, your mother's not going to change. Your mother at this particular point is the problem, not the man. Because she could leave the man. She doesn't need the man. She could leave the man and come live with you. Maybe. I don't know if you're open to that. But you keep saying that you want better for her. What would happen if she left that? She could kick the man out. But she's deciding to stay in this relationship. Zamunda says, unpopular opinion, I don't care for any of the lady solo scenes. You know what? For the most part, you're right. Yeah, look. I'm trying to think. It's like if I look at this episode, some of these solo scenes I could do without. I will say Wendy's solo scenes normally I don't find entertaining unless Susan's there. Susan was in this episode, so I was like, okay, because she's gonna damage. I feel like she, made the situation for them even more complicated. She said, "I'm spending all your money." Oh damn. I said this last night on X. I feel like, how we're watching, taking notes and paying attention to all the things when it comes to Wendy. I said, so are the prosecutors. So are the prosecutors. They're going to use this against her. Rainy Circus, who's watching on Twitch, says, the Danish deception thing makes me happy. I am single because yikes. Yeah. But don't let that stop you from dating. Okay? All right, let's move on. So Jazzy has the ladies come over, the ladies meaning Wendy and Stacey come over. We're having this scene along with Ashley. Mind you, everyone else on the cast, Ashley, Tia, Giselle, and Kiarna, go to Angel's house and to have a conversation. What stood out to me in that scene, so first of all, Angel updates the lady and says that they found a home. Apparently, the budget was $5 million, but they found a home. It's ready to move in. However, what happened with that home? Because look, we know the process of buying a home sometimes can cause you think that you're buying the home, and then something happens with the deal. Fine, because apparently she's back in Colorado. I don't even know if she's in the DMV right now. Okay. So apparently she's found the home. Giselle in her confessional, because Giselle also shows up, and she says, the group trauma bonds over Stacey. So this whole meeting at Angel's home is to talk about Stacey. It's so weird, y'all, because at this particular point, we're almost 10 episodes in, and you guys have not given us a solid reason why all of you have an issue with Stacey. I could understand Wendy having an issue with her, but she doesn't even have the issue. I could understand Monique having a possible issue with her, but she doesn't have the issue. All of you feel like you have this personal vendetta against Stacey, and we are trying to understand what exactly did she do to you for you to have this vendetta. And it can't just be, oh, she lied. She lied about her life? Any of Stacey's lies do not affect y'all. Sidebar. So last week you guys mentioned that you feel like, well, some people mentioned that you feel like that Stacey is turning into Wendy. And I said to you, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. Then I was reminded that Wendy's former stylist is now working with Stacey. And I was like, oh, damn, she's just getting everything. But remember, Wendy's former stylist also was the head stylist for their theme for their reunion last week. And I know Chanel. Chanel has worked with so many of the housewives over the years, from Nene, Kenya, Wendy, so many people. She's worked with Shamia, things like that. So I'm not surprised. If you saw any of Stacey's looks during BravoCon weekend, that was all Chanel. So not Chanel Ion, another Chanel, Jamaican Chanel. Okay. All right. So I just found that to be interesting, and I wanted to let you guys know what I found out. And I was like, oh, she really is turning into Wendy. All right. Let me move on. Okay. So we have Ashley and all the other women talking about Stacey. And as I said to you before, Giselle said they trauma bond over Stacey, which I find to be so weird. But Ashley says that Monique doesn't know about Stacey apparently sharing this information with Chris. And she wants to share this with her. So she's like, oh, could you come with me? So they're literally, we see this a lot during the season. We are seeing them constantly self-producing themselves. You want to come to, have this conversation with me? This is your friend. Why can't you have this conversation on your own? But some might say the reason why she wants Kiarna to be there because Kiarna was the one speaking with Cookie. Which I find to be interesting because did Cookie and Kiarna even know each other like that to be on the phone? And look, maybe they chose Kiarna to spread this information because it seems like Kiarna's been working overtime to come after Stacey. We saw it during the Pride event. It would have made more sense if this information was told to Giselle through Cookie because they've been talking. But no, they were like, we don't want that. We don't want Giselle's hands to get dirty in this one. Giselle's hands are all over this. Winter says that will this stylist help with the bad wigs too? Well, no. She does the clothes, not the hairstyling. Remember Stacey's hairstyling is done by her best friend. It's gotten better. I mean, at least BravoCon weekend. I don't know if she had someone new for BravoCon weekend, but here we are. All right. So they had that conversation. The Mean Girls group gathered at Angel's house. Okay. So in the other scene, Darius is cooking up food for the ladies. Wendy gets there first. Wendy's giving us a whole completely different look. She went from the short hair. Now she's got the long hair out. She was giving looks this episode. I know we can talk about how much that might cost her. Fine. So Stacey finally arrives and she's knocking on the door. And Wendy says, "Why? You know that's Stacey because she always knocks on the door like she's the FBI." And I said to myself, "What would you know how the FBI knocks?" Is it a certain banging? I know it's a reach, but I'm being funny. I'm just like, I thought that was interesting. She banging on the door like how the FBI does. So Stacey comes in. She says, when it comes to her, Kiarna always hypes up, and it seems that way, and it doesn't make sense. Why does Kiarna get so angry about Stacey? Stacey has not done anything to you. She hasn't taken your man. She hasn't flirted with your man. She hasn't flirted with your family. She hasn't done anything. And it's not like Kiarna is being just, like, oh, I don't like her. She's weird. She's a weirdo. It's like she's seeing Deborah. You know what I mean? It's like real angry. It's like a tantrum. It's like, what is going on? I'm like, Are you okay? Like, okay, let me show her the shirt. Kiarna, are you okay? It's not making sense. Kimmy says, I don't understand it. None of us do. I don't even think Kiarna or Klarna, as you guys are calling her in the chat, understands. It doesn't make sense to me. Lene says, Kay is mad because Stacey stole her storyline of the ex getting back together. Oh, plot twist. I never thought about that. You think? It just doesn't make sense. And look, even if Kiarna experiences a different Stacey, because that came up, I believe, during the after show as well, where Ashley brings up, well, Kiarna, remember she shared the bunk bedroom with her last season? And she's like, the Stacey y'all see on camera is not the same Stacey that I saw. Even if that's the case, how does that affect you? How does that affect you? It doesn't. It doesn't affect you in the least bit. It feels like you are reaching because you want to be a part of this crew. You feel like everyone's piling on her. I wouldn't be shocked if the lady said, we're going to come for Stacey this season. And you're like, okay. And you were all about it. Because the amount of venom that you have for Stacey is giving weird. So Stacey says, anytime it's mentioning me, Kiarna hypes up. She hypes up. Because for the most part, they said that Kiarna was a lackluster. And here's the thing. If you watch the after show, and Giselle's telling on herself, she's just like, she was happy to see Monique because Monique's going to give energy. And she's like, I haven't really been feeling the energy. And Tia was like, what about me? She was just like, you give proper, which is not energy. She didn't say that part. I'm going to say that part. But I've liked Tia this season. What I'm not liking, it seems like Tia is now reaching also to have an issue with Stacey. And I get it. Stacey made it seem like that you were lying, and then we found out that Stacey was lying. But it wasn't so deep to the point where like you are no longer interested in having a friendship with her. I was like, oh, that seems a little dramatic, but fine. No one's going to force you to have a friendship with someone that, that you don't want to have a friendship with. Fine. But yeah. But like I said, during the after show, it felt like Giselle was basically saying what I've been telling you that I heard from sources, that the newbies were not bringing it this season. Hence why Monique had to come in last minute, have no background behind her. It's all making more sense. Anyone else? It's all making sense to me now. It's all coming back to me now. All right. Before I forget, I am going to drop the call-in link for the general audience. You guys will have 30 seconds to share your thoughts. I can't be here long because you already know I have a very busy day. I have our Married to Medicine recap, and then I also have our Cyber Monday live with our friends over at Butter. So stay tuned for that. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern later today. But if you are a member of the channel, I'm dropping the call-in link now. And those of you that are watching but can't chat, I will drop the call-in link for the general audience once we get to 1,000 likes, because we have like 2,400 of you watching on multiple platforms. And Twitch fam, I will drop the call-in link for you guys as well in a moment. Okay? All right. So back to this. So what else? So Wendy says that Stacey is Kiarna's favorite toy in the toy box. Because I think she thought maybe Stacey would be an easy target, in my opinion, and she's not. Wendy suggests that that Stacey and Monique should sit down for a conversation to talk about the possibility that she may have brought this information back to Chris. So that's what we see at the end of the episode. All right, Kiarna, or Klarna, as you guys keep calling her in the chat, Kay meets up with her brother and mother. Good. Everyone in this family is good looking. Everyone in this family is good looking. I'm actually shocked. Never mind, I'll leave it alone. So her brother comes over. They're at Greg's house. So this is probably another scene that you probably fast forward because you're probably tired of hearing about Kiarna and Greg's relationship, but that's exactly what they talk about. Okay. Everyone in this family is good looking. The brother is good looking, and the mother is good looking. And Kiarna is beautiful as well. And Kiarna has some beautiful confessionals. I love her confessionals. Look, I can say something nice. I love her confessional. Looks beautiful. Kiarna, beautiful gowns. Stewart. Okay. So Kiarna says when her mom arrives, she says that Greg wants her to move back in. And then she mentions that, Greg is mentioning, because my thing is, if he wants you to move back in, then wouldn't you sell the condo, or did you not buy the condo? Was it a rent to buy situation? I'm trying to understand, because you're already in the condo, so I assume that you bought it already. But I don't know. Maybe you can clarify. So I thought that was interesting. So she says that Greg wants her to move back in, but then they talk about the condo and she and the things that she's been going through with buying the condo. So he says to her, I know the condos are priority for you, but I think that we should go ring shopping again or start ring shopping again. This is what, according to Kiarna. We haven't seen Greg say these things, okay? Again, I feel like they're overcorrecting this season. So she says, he says, the condo or the ring. So her mother is immediately like, excuse me, the whole reason why you moved out was because he wasn't trying to commit to you. She tries to backtrack and change the whole narrative. Like, well, no, the reason why I moved out was because I wasn't happy in my relationship. Okay? Shut up. I see y'all in the chat. Oh my gosh. Y'all are a mess in the chat, but we see each other. Lene says, me thinks Greg wants to buy half the condo so that they can rent it and they can share the rent from it. Byron says, the whole condo or ring is crazy. Because my thing is, I don't understand. Like, isn't the condo already paid for? She's already moved in. Like, that shouldn't even be an issue. And like I said to you before, I honestly believe she whatever she did with the condo, maybe she's renting the condo, which is fine. However, I find it interesting because remember she said they were building this house together. So did you not move forward and your name is no longer on the house? There's something not connect. You so busy talking about Stacey and her lies. I'm trying to catch up with yours because you're not 100% clear, Kiarna. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about that. Please explain that. That's not making sense. That's not clicking for me. You know what I mean? Hold on one second, Tish. Not Tish coming here talking to other people. Tish says, but Tia is a liar. The rumors, blogs are filled with tea on her and her husband. As a liar, she should have more grace for another liar. Wait, come on. Wait, what tea?
Lies, the lie.
What tea? Do tell. Make sure you call in, Tish. What are the blogs saying about her and the husband? The husband. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I saw that. Y'all were trying to talk to each other in the chat. And I'm like, wait a minute. What did I say? Oh, exactly. Toya says, what is the tea on Tia? Oh, Tia. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. All right. Let me get back to this and then we'll get the tea later. This Bella Badge said, what? Wait, what happened? Right? Look, everyone's perked up. Like, what? What tea on Tia? Damn, the backstage is full, members. The backstage is full. Let me get through this because I have to go rewatch. I know begrudgingly, I'm going to rewatch that season premiere of Married to Medicine. Begrudgingly, it wasn't great. Okay? Same old beef, but I have things to say. Kemp, so how am I messy? I saw it and I said, let me bring the news to you. Now overall, all of us are perked up. Is Tish backstage? Tish, are you not backstage? It's full backstage. All right. Make room for Tish, y'all. I need to know what the blogs. What is it on Reddit? You know, I'm not in the Reddit streets. Come on now, Danny. I just saw your thing. D says, to the front, Tish. We need to know. Remember, Tish is the one who brought the tea on Bozema for us. She was one of the people to bring some of the tea on Bozema for us. All right. Moving on. So her mother, Kiarna's mother, is frustrated with her because she's just like, no, it should be the ring and not either or about helping buy. Not even helping. I'm saying helping. He's saying that he wants to buy the condo for her. I thought the condo was bought. And Tish says Reddit and other platforms. I missed this. Okay, Tish, call in, Tish. I need to know. Get the information and report back because I need to know. And again, it's speculation, it's rumors, doesn't mean that it's true. Jan says, I like Tia and want all the tea. Hold on. Okay, let me focus. All right. So, apparently Greg, he says, she says the priority for her, because I feel like Kiarna is now downplaying what she really wants. Does she want the ring or does she want him to buy the condo? Is he in a position to buy the condo? He just bought this house and he's got child support. He's like, didn't he just go back, according to the reports, go back to in regards to not paying for something for his kids, allegedly? So do I really believe that he's going to buy a condo for Kiarna, or is that just for the camera so that we think that Greg, who also on camera brought a wad of cash to give? Because some of y'all were calling him broke. Remember, a lot of y'all were saying that he's a scrub and all this other stuff last season. I never said that. But a lot of people were saying that on social media, and I feel like she's overcorrecting this season. She wants to make it seem like, oh, he's a big dog. He's doing this, he's doing that, which is not going to look good for him, especially when it comes to his custody situation. But anyway, let's move on. Because when we talk about money, Wendy and her sister and her mom. Okay, so her sister first arrives, and Wendy talks to her sister about her dad and her relationship with her dad, and that's been Wendy's storyline so far this season. And apparently the sister hasn't seen the dad in like 20 years, but Wendy recently went back to Nigeria. First of all, those pictures, Wendy looked gorgeous. The outfit, she has a beautiful family, okay? So she talks to her sister about she was hoping to see her father, who she has not seen in a very long time. She was hoping she would see her father, and her father would see her and see that she was successful, that he would want to be around her. And I honestly believe this as a storyline that she does want to have a relationship with her father. Her sister doesn't feel that way. She's just sort of like, she's made peace with the fact that he wants nothing to do with them. Okay, so Susan arrives, her mother arrives, okay? And Susan is just happy to be there, and they talk about the father situation, okay? And Susan says that Wendy's father is missing out on her success and her money. And Susan's like, she's enjoying Wendy's money. Okay? And again, this doesn't land the same. This probably would have landed fine if we didn't have the insurance fraud of it all, the accusations from the prosecution that Wendy and Eddie are in extreme financial debt. They're spending $100,000 on all these different renovations of the home. Okay? So Susan brags about how Wendy and Ivy are doing so well, especially Wendy's doing so well. And she's like, you give me all this money. And then he flashed back. Editors, you know what you're doing. They flash back to, whatchamacallit? They flash back to when the mother was asking for money. And you see Wendy sending her $500. That's also when she mentioned that the kids had a trust. And I was like, y'all believe that trust was real? Just saying. But maybe it is. According to Wendy, this season she keeps on talking about how Happy Eddie is doing very, very well. Hey, look, if she could prove this in saying that Happy Eddie is doing very well and that they aren't in financial restraints, I mean, that's strong evidence if they can prove that. But we shall see. Foxy says no more checks for Susan. Here's the other element, because remember she also mentions that she was hoping to see her father when she went to Nigeria because she wanted to show him, like, look at me, I'm successful. I can only imagine that this information about them getting arrested.
A mochi moment from Tara, who writes, "For years, all my doctor said was eat less and move more, which never worked. But you know what does? The simple eating tips from my nutritionist at Mochi. And after losing over 30 pounds, I can say you're not just another GLP-1 source. You're a life source." Thanks, Tara. I'm Myra Ahmed, founder of Mochi Health. To find your Mochi moment, visit joinmochi.com.
Tara is a Mochi member compensated for her story.
Whether you're solving murders during breakfast, cracking cold cases on your commute, or playing amateur detective at bedtime, Amazon Music's got millions of podcast episodes waiting. Just download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite true crime podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Them getting arrested has made it all the way to Nigeria. I think someone even told me that this made it on the Nigerian news, right? Embarrassing that the mugshot, I'm sure, has probably been shared over there. Can you imagine the father? Because, 1 minute she's like, she wants to show her father that she's successful, that she's doing very well for herself. And then this happens. Oof. I will say this, though. Despite what Wendy's going through right now legally, she's having a good season. If we didn't have this information right now, I would be like, this is a great season. I think she had a good season last season as well, but I feel like this season even more because now people are really coming for her and it's not landing. And I think Wendy will have a good reunion because her ploy will be, I can't talk about this because I'm literally in the middle of this and I'm fighting this, but that will be it. I think she still will have a good season despite everything that's happening outside of the season. Because I don't understand what the issue is right now with Wendy. I could see it. I could see Wendy being dismissive. Even during the after show, Ashley talking about Wendy becoming friends with Stacey. She's like, Wendy loves to do this big gesture and she likes to align herself with certain people. Honestly, based on what we've seen of Wendy, I don't see that. I see that with you, though, Ashley. You align yourself with certain people. So I don't necessarily, again, you could be seeing something that we don't see. We're watching an edited show. But I feel like I don't see that. And here's the thing. Even if Wendy is aligning herself with Stacey, Wendy is still checking Stacey when she feels like Stacey is wrong. I can't say the same for you. So yeah, here we are. Patricia says, I like Wendy so much. Why, Pam? Why? Why, Pam? Why? Lord. So they go inside the home to see the renovations. They see a chandelier. The mother, again, you guys are doing so well. Yeah, she's like, get another one. And I'm just like, this is just not going to land well. Okay? High Vibe says, when will Ashley be off my screen? Who knows? Oh, damn. Dion says, Susan equals Pam Oliver. She about to be Pam in a second. Lord. All right. So let's move on from there, guys. If you are just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Don't forget, you can also hear our live recaps and special episodes on the KEMPIRE podcast. Subscribe today. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I also dropped a new Club KEMPIRE podcast episode last week, so be sure to check that out. I talked about, what did I talk? I talked about a bunch of stuff there. That's also where I recap some shows that I don't talk about anywhere else. So be sure to check that out. I might drop my Danish Deception thoughts and recap for Club KEMPIRE first there. So make sure you become a Club KEMPIRE member. You can find that on Apple Podcasts, the app, or their website if you do not have a Apple device. Okay? And become a Club KEMPIRE baddie. Here go Dina. Dina says, Your Honor, I did it for my mama. Do you think that she will be admitting anything? Do you even think that it will get to that point, that they will take a plea deal? I don't know. It sounds like, based on what we see so far, that they're not doing that. Tomorrow, they have a hearing. Yeah, tomorrow they have a hearing. So we'll have to wait and see what will come from this hearing, because one of the things that they are trying to do is have these charges dismissed. So then there's that. We shall see. 'Tis the season to keep your home clean, and we are partnering with our friends over at Home Aglow to help you with just that. One of the things that I found hardest when I was looking for a cleaner for my home was the fact that it was hard to find. And a lot of times, unless you are speaking to people from word of mouth, it's hard to find someone that you can trust in your home that's actually going to do a good job. So today's live is sponsored by our friends over at Home Aglow. Home Aglow is a 5-star home service platform dedicated to making your space clean and tidy. With their easy online booking capabilities, you can instantly schedule top-rated cleaners in your area for a special occasion or regularly with their Forever Clean membership. And Thanksgiving is right around the corner. The holidays are right after that, and Home Aglow is going to make it so easy for you to book someone to come in and clean up before you have family come over or after your family came over and ruined everything. Well, maybe not everything. Home Aglow, as I said to you before, makes it so easy to do all of this online. I literally have tried them, and they did a fantastic job. To schedule a cleaning, you simply go to Home Aglow's website to choose the day and time that you're looking for and the duration of your cleaning to match with a cleaner. Schedule as quickly as this week or get something on the calendar for next month to check it off your to-do list early. You can see photos and reviews of background check cleaners before booking the right cleaner for you. The best part of their Forever Clean membership, which saves you $30 an hour on future cleanings, book unlimited cleanings starting at $19 an hour, backed by Home Aglow's happiness guarantee. Home Aglow services are only available in the U.S. I know we're worldwide, but it's only available in the U.S. And of course, we've got you covered with a discount, of course. Head on over to the description for more details on your discount. But to take home cleaning off your plate this holiday season by using Home Aglow, head to homeaglow.com/KEMPIRE to get your first 3 hours of cleaning for only $19. That's HOMEAGLOW.com/KEMPIRE. More details on Homoglow and your discount will be available in the description. Now let's get back to the show. And welcome back, guys. All right. And I will be adding that in. Let me just do that now, guys, while I do that. And shout out to everyone that's behind the scenes waiting in the chat or in the waiting area on for those that want to call in and share their thoughts. Let me just add this to those of you that want the Homoglow discount. Let me just add that. Hold on, y'all. All right. Lord. Throat is throating right now. Oh, that's what he said. Oh. Shout out to our new members. We do have quite a few super chats as well. Let me say thank you. Daisy, thank you so much for the super chat. Daisy says that Giselle should be demoted to a friend of the show and Ashley needs to be fired, especially after this episode. I don't see them doing that, to be honest with you, especially her holding down the show this season. I don't see production doing that. But based off of what Giselle gives to the show, she has nothing going on. She really is a friend of the show. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, I'm disinclined to applaud Angel's nomenclature because it reeks of an elitist attempt. Okay, with these words, now I got to look up these words you're using right now. Because it reeks of an elitist attempt to cast those who she is in conflict with as less intelligent and herself as more intellectually ascendant. Okay, look, okay. I think that's why, and I said that before. Thank you so much, Patrice, for the super chat. Patrice. Okay, that's all you sent. Let me see. Mr. Melon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat. Mr. Melon says, Ashley's storyline was Gullum, and now since he's gone, she can go too. Jizzy will never change from the attitude to the fashion. Klarna and Sadness can leave. Means Kiarna and Angel. Jules, thank you so much for the super chat. Jules says, agree, KEMPIRE. What makes Stacey the liar of RHOP? Cannabis line? Valid evasion, TJ, unproven. Dating Chris, one hangout / date isn't a romantic relationship. It's social. Leaking to Chris, 0 receipts. Yeah, facts. Thank you so much for another super chat, Jules. Jules says, these women are just mad Stacey won't get backed into their self-serving narratives. And it's so obvious. That's what it is. JG, thank you so much for the super chat. JG says, Michael paid for the home. The divorce decree probably states none of Ashley's family members can live there. Oh, you're right. I didn't think about that, JG. But y'all notice the home looked not in shambles. I think the reason why people do not talk enough about Ashley's home is because I think the bones of the home, it looks good, and Giselle's bones of the home doesn't necessarily look as good. But when you look around the house, like the decor is not great. And then they zoomed into the backyard, and the backyard girl, it doesn't cost that much to have a landscaper. So you spending all this money on bad wigs and name brands, and you can't hire a landscaper for your yard? Okay. For those that didn't even watch the scene, you didn't even notice it. That's why I mentioned it. Katie, thank you so much for the super chat. Katie says, maybe Stacey admires her new bestie. And again, Wendy will call Stacey out when she thinks Stacey's wrong. I can appreciate it. If that's an alliance, fine. Skiji, thank you so much for the super chat. Skiji says, Chris would say, Kay told me I'd fall for... Wait, wish Chris would say, Kay told me I'd fall over. Imagine. He probably doesn't even know who told Cookie. I think Cookie's the one who told Chris. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Noda Queen says that Kay's timeline of the phone call with Cookie still doesn't make any sense. Very much like her relationship with Greg and this whole, he wants to buy the condo and not the ring. Because honestly, him buying the condo is kind of weird, because wouldn't you say don't buy the condo, move in back with me, and I'll get you the ring? That doesn't make sense. When you think about it, like, no, I want you to move back in with me. We'll sell the condo if you even own it, or you move out of the condo and you move in with me, and I'm going to buy you the ring. I'm serious about you. It's definitely not giving that. Hold on. JG says Karen does not like Stacey nor Wendy, and Kiarna is carrying the hate torch for Karen. I mean, I might believe that because Cookie is good friends with Karen. which I find to be interesting. Kendra, thank you so much for this. Another super chat. Thank you. Let me shimmy. Thank you for the super chats, Kendra. Kendra says they hate Stacey. They hate Stacey. She could reach the chips in the cabinet when she was younger. The tooth fairy gave her $20 and still she rises. See how ridiculous I sound? Just like them. You're right. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for another super chat. Miss Esquire says, Greg trying to put Klarna and their relationship on Afterpay is crazy word. Now that makes that name even more funnier. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says, KEMPIRE, you need to host a reunion. Miss Esquire can be our legal analyst. Mr. Melanin Magic and Miss Bernice Jackson, 42, can be their unfiltered, honest opinions. 100%. Why not? Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, Tia was waiting to have an issue with Stacey because other than her kids disrespecting her, what else she got? Ooh. If Angel is crying over a catfish comment, imagine if Candace was reading her. I mean, you're right. You're right. Do you think that Angel will come back next season? I know some of you don't want her to come back, but do you think she will come back next season? Patricia says that the ring is coming. Okay. With the laughing emojis, Patricia says that. The ring is coming. Don't hold your breath, Kiarna. Don't hold your breath, girl. All right. Let me get to this last scene, and then we're going to get quickly to the caller because I definitely want to get off of here soon so I can watch Married to Medicine and go live at 3 p.m. on time. All right. Let me go here. All right. So back to our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. And thank you guys so much for the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps, things like that. I appreciate it. Let me go here. All right. So sidebar. I took a note in regards to this. Do you guys notice that Monique's style is so different? It's not even just the braids and the locks. It's just her whole style. Even her confessionals is just so different as in comparison to what she used to wear. And again, it makes me wonder when she says she was giving a certain image back then. And I was like, oh, was that also part of the image that she was giving? So anyway, so they all arrive. Everyone's at this particular meetup except Giselle. Giselle and Angel weren't there. Kiarna was there. Ashley was there. Wendy was there. And Stacey was there. Okay, and of course, Monique was there. So Kiarna shares that Stacey brought the information to Chris. So she tells her side of the situation to Monique. And when they're mentioning this and they're playing out the story and they mention Charisse, she's like, Charisse was there? Like, why is she involved? And then they mention Cookie. And luckily for Stacey, Monique doesn't see it for Cookie. And based off of past behavior, based on what Monique says, that Cookie smiled in her face and then talked all kind of trash behind her back. Probably because she probably has a crush on Chris. Because she's always texting with Chris and having conversations with Chris. So Monique says that she doesn't believe Cookie. And I think that is the wrench in whatever plan Giselle, Ashley, Kiarna have against Stacey. The wrench in their plan is that Monique is going to beat to her own drum and she doesn't see it for Cookie. And she's like, oh, you said Cookie brought this information to you? She also says some interesting things about Chris because she finds it interesting that Chris is, mingling with all these women. She also feels like he could have spun whatever was told to him as well. She also revealed, I don't remember, was it here or was it in the after show? I think it was here that she said that co-parenting with Chris has been difficult. So I thought that was interesting. And Chris, I wouldn't be surprised if Chris, I hope Chris doesn't though. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris does an interview with someone. Because she's been saying some stuff about Chris that doesn't make Chris look the best, for being honest. And he might not be the best. I don't know. So, so she said it in the scene. She says co-parenting with Chris has been a nightmare. Wendy reveals that Stacey says that she doesn't want to engage with Kiarna. But Monique is like, I don't want to do this, side conversation thing, and then it's like he said, she said. Look, I get where Monique is coming from, but my thing is that's not going to happen. Everything's being said on camera. So I'm okay if Stacey's like, Kiarna has nothing to do with this. She is, if anything, the one bringing lies. Maybe. We don't know. Because right now, according to Chris, Stacey didn't tell him anything. Kiarna's the one who's bringing this information to the group. She just told you what she was told. Now, Stacey is like, I'm not comfortable speaking with Kiarna. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't blame Stacey for not wanting to have Kiarna there. Because every time Kiarna's there, she's interrupting, she's barking, she's like, it's a lot. And I'm wondering if production off camera told Kiarna to go, because I was surprised that Kiarna actually got up and left. And they were like, "Oh, where are you going? Don't go." And she's like, "No, I'm gonna go. I'm glad she left, because she didn't need to be there. This doesn't even involve you, really. I mean, you involved yourself by bringing this story." So Kiarna ends up getting up and leaving. Well, even before that, because Wendy tells Kiarna that, first of all, you don't notice Kiarna's face change when Wendy arrived? Yeah. So Wendy says that, she doesn't want to engage with Kiarna. And Kiarna starts barking. She starts barking. She's like, "Oh, that fake A, fraud B word." Okay? Again, why does Kiarna have such vitriol for Stacey? You would have thought that Stacey ran and told her ex some information. That reaction is giving, I'm desperate to be on camera. I'm desperate to have a moment. I'm desperate to be here. It was weird. I was like, why all of that? Unless she did or said something that we're not seeing, I don't understand why she's a fake ass bitch, bro. But I'm like, are you okay? Please tell us. Because clearly you're not. All right. Moving on from there. So Kiarna goes to sit at the kiddies table by the bar. Okay. And Stacey denies dating Chris. And Ashley's like not believing it. And then they flash back to when they were in Nevis. And I'm glad I paid attention, because she even says in Nevis she never slept with Chris. She says they hung out. They hung out. She never said that she dated Chris. They hung out. So they flash back. And again, was this the producers being shady? No, I feel like they were proving her point. She never said that they dated. She said that they hung out. Stacey also reveals the text messages. So she shows the text messages to Monique. And from the text message, it seems as if Chris was thirsty to meet Stacey, because she was on the cover of one of the local magazines, and he must have sent the picture to her and was trying to have a conversation, and she left him on red. Then he texts her and says, "Oh, I heard I'm being talked about during filming." So she shows her the text message during the after show. Ashley says, "Oh, we got to be clear that she showed you screenshots." Monique was like, "No, she showed me text messages." She says, I was scrolling." So Monique saw the information. I will say Monique doesn't seem like she likes Stacey either, but she is giving Stacey at least an open mind and some grace when it comes to this, and telling the truth. Like, well, yeah, she might not be 100% telling the truth based on what you guys have told me about her, but with this particular situation, she showed me the text messages, and it seemed like Chris was the one trying to talk to her, and she really wasn't engaging with Chris. So she shows her the text messages. Okay? Ashley still doesn't believe her. Ashley, in her confession, she's like, "And those fraudulent receipts." You know what the fraudulent receipts are? And the thing is, because people have speculated for a very long time this weird relationship and alliance that Ashley and Monique have for each other, and it might be because maybe Monique had camera footage of Michael Darby grabbing some butts and things like that, allegedly. And then, Ashley wrote that little character letter for her when she was after the whole fight situation. So that might be their alliance, and they've got information on each other. I don't know. But Ashley is just like, I still don't believe it. And those fraud, you again, very much like Kiarna. You act as if she's coming for you. Stacey hasn't said or done anything to any of you. So it's weird. It's very, very weird. So Wendy, who's having a fantastic season, She says she's going to put on her investigation wig, and she says the prime suspect is Kiarna. That's the number one suspect for her because she's the one who brought this information. Then she says Angel is the suspect because they know Chris. Remember, they flashed back because apparently, Bobby met Chris years ago. But I don't know if they're still friends. I don't know if they still communicate. Giselle is a suspect, and she says she's been getting cozy with Cookie. They're all suspects. I feel like all of them are the ones because all the preponderance of evidence is against the mean girls. If we're going to be honest, all of them have a reason for creating this story because all the other stories that they've tried to create this season have fallen flat. Like Angel. Just saying. And then she says Stacey. I thought this was funny. She said, well, Stacey would be my fourth suspect because Stacey has lied in the past, present, and probably will lie in the future. It probably will lie in the future. She said she probably will lie in the future. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Tamara says, it's all a plot. That's what it's giving. And I think they think the audience is stupider than they give us credit. Yeah. High Vibe, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. High Vibe says, not a big Monique fan, but when she described how Chris objectified her, I remembered her complaints on RHOP and Love and Marriage DC. That anger for him was what got unleashed on Candace, in my opinion. Oh, okay. Could be. It could be a whole assortment of stuff. But yeah. All right, guys, if you haven't already, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. We're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac if you're just joining us. Let's get to our callers. I already dropped the call-in link for members. We're going to get through this really quickly because I got to go. I got to recap Married to Medicine, and we'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern for our collaboration with Buddha for Cyber Monday. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. PST. The link for that is available in the description, okay? And I'll be posting it on socials as well. All right, let's get to our callers. First, and again, callers, keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the KEMPIRE LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged, and they're calling in of their own free will, and they will respect the timer of 30 seconds. If they do not, they will be dropped. All right, let's bring up Nia next. Nia, what did you want to share? Nia, you're muted. Nia. You're muted, Nia. All right, got to move on, Nia. All right, we're going to bring up Elle, my bell, next. Elle, what did you want to share?
Hi, KEMPIRE. I just got to make this really quick. I think, and I'm looking forward to Traders. I met Stacey. She's very nice, and I think she's a great addition. But if I were to just humor me, if this were a season of Traders, this Potomac season, I would say Wendy and Stacey are the traitors. The audience is the faithfuls, and we are convinced the other faithfuls, the mean girls, are the traitors. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm just like, it's just too, on social media, everywhere, everybody's just leaning too far to, hey, Wendy and Stacey are just, the right people, get off their back. That's where I'm thinking. But that's all I wanted to call in to say. And I saw Brandy and Monica last night, and DC was great. So I'm going to watch your recap this afternoon.
Awesome.
So I can't wait.
Awesome. Take care, Elle. Yeah, Maya has officially joined the tour for the Brandy and Monica tour. And we did do a review of the tour, but Money Long is the one that I saw, which was fine because I've seen Maya during the Queens of R&B tour, which she was amazing. I did a review of that as well. And I heard that Michelle Obama was in attendance as well last night. So shout out to all of y'all. Y'all were in the presence of greatness. All right, Nia's backstage. Nia, are you there?
Yes, hey, KEMPIRE.
Hey.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, Stacey ate and left 0 crumbs. She basically licked the plate. She destroyed the Siamese twins. Kierna needs to find a full-time man, a real one / husband. Her anger is directed to the wrong person, Stacey. I think Giselle at her neck roll age has amnesia. She hugged Stacey goodbye, said thank you, and then she said, I need to marinate on everything to Jazzy regarding Stacey. Like, the girl's a weirdo. Production needs to stop making Kiarna happen. It's not going to happen. Pay her for the Deborah fight. Go chase and go beg Craig. Last but not least, not Wendy being a whole detective and alleged criminal at the same time. She's really making us Geminis look really bad. She has too many sides. Have a good one.
Thanks, Nia. Nia, that was a read. Woo! Wow. Okay. Is she making the Geminis look bad or just showing y'all truth? No, playing Nia, play. All right, Tyler's backstage. Tyler, what did you want to share?
Hi, KEMPIRE. I'll say this. I don't like Wendy. Wendy attaches herself to whoever the fans like each season. That's what she does. Just like when she went against Giselle and Robin, when Ashley is the one who brought her the information against her husband. I'm no fan of Giselle and them, but she gave Ashley no smoke. They were the ones that the audience hated, so she went against them. That's what Wendy does. She's fake. Stacey, I like Stacey, but I will say this. It seems like Stacey is doing things behind the scenes and like she's maybe more fake behind the scenes and lies, but Kiana doesn't know how to play the game, so she looks bitter. That's what's going on. Girl, you can't show your emotions. Throw some shade and keep smiling. That's all.
Okay. Take care, Tyler. All right, we're going to bring up Know the Queen next. Know the Queen, what's going on?
Hey, KEMPIRE.
Hey.
I did notice during when Wendy was eating Angel up, Eddie was right there the whole time, keeping his good eye on that lady, making sure they wasn't doing too much with his wife. I like that. That was good from Eddie. Also, during the after show, for some reason, Ashley was we know Ashley was weird. She's so dead set on Stacey doing this stuff with Chris. But even Monique pointed out that in Chris's replies, it proved that Stacey wasn't responding because he said you could at least respond this way or whatever.
Yep. So
telling the truth. She's vindicated once again. They need to get off my girl neck. But I think the audience is just fatigued with Ashley and Giselle and their lack of a storyline. I was excited to see Ashley as a mother like we do with Giselle because that is endearing. But then she started singing and ruining everything. So that's all I have a feeling.
Thanks, Know the Queen. Bye. All right. If you remember the channel, we did drop the call link. We have quite a few members backstage. But once you're done, guys, drop out so that people can call in. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats. Adrian, thank you so much for super chat. Adrian said, okay, beautiful, Adrian. All right. Adrian says, I wondered if Charisse has a hand in it too. She says, I mean, she does have Chris's number. I feel like it's a plot, and I feel like everything that they've tried this season has fallen flat with Stacey, and this was their next. I don't think it's just one person. I think it's a bunch of them that came together trying to throw Stacey under the bus. Housewives Lover, thank you for the super chat. Housewives Lover says, seeing Ashley on my screen makes me unhealthily angry. I kind of get that, though. There's something just very annoying about her. Hey, Dr. Miss Honey. Dr. Miss Honey, thank you for the super chat. Dr. Miss Honey says, Stacey is the sweet little sister to Kenya that we didn't know we needed. They are the Detroit Barbie and Skipper. Remember Skipper? I need Bravo to give them a spinoff ASAP. Well, they're doing their Real Housewives road trip. That would be interesting. Thank you, Dr. Miss Honey. Dr. Miss Honey gave me an update in regards to her Whole Foods excursion if you were here for our dating live on Friday. She did it, and she had a good time. I love that for her. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. We're going to bring Miss Bernice up next. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share?
What up, do everybody? What up, do? How everybody doing? Why I got to look up Cher from Nottingham on my TV? I don't need to see Sheree ever again. Come on now. Did you notice when they sit down at the table and Ashley called herself trying to describe the so-called beef, and she gonna put her hands up? You're not about that life, Ashley. You on the white side. You're not on the black side. Come on. Kay, I ain't got no words for Kay. Her and Charlie Brown don't need to be on my screen because he's never going to ring her. And for you to sit there with your mother and your brother, and they had to look on their face like, if you like it, I love it. They don't care. They don't care. And we don't care either.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Bernice.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we got Squirtle 101 backstage. We're going to bring Squirtle up next. Squirtle, what did you want to share?
Hi. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak to me. I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in here. I think someone else told Chris, and I think it's Ashley's publicist friend that did it. Remember, that's the one that said that Stacey reached out to him to get the date? or something like that. And they talked about that in Nevis. It makes sense to me because, first of all, the whole interaction was filmed, so he's going to know about this anyway. But wouldn't a publicist want to get that information to their client so they can curtail information? So that's what I think. And I have a feeling either Ashley told her publicist friend or one of them friends at her event leaked it to the publicist friend. I want to see Ashley's text messages. I don't really care about Stacey's. So that's my thinking on that.
Good point. Thank you so much. Take care, Squirtle. And we've been saying that there were so many other possible people that could have spread this information to Chris that were there, and they were obviously paying attention to the conversation. Remember, we had that shot of where was it? Grace was sitting there, Ashley's friend was sitting there, Cal was sitting there. Any one of those people, and there were a couple other people that were there, could have brought that information back to Chris. I feel like the DMV, although big, but it's also very small. Okay, let's bring up Angel W next. Angel, what did you... This damn picture always gets me. Angel, what's going on?
Hey, KEMPIRE, before my 30 seconds starts, I just want to tell you our USPS has failed us. The ornament is at the post office, but they're going to make you stand in line. I sent you an email. They won't put it in the P.O. box.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. I'm sure they'll put like a note in my P.O. box that I have something.
She said you should have a tag because it got there on Friday.
Game over. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay. All right.
Okay, so with Miss Eeyore, because I refuse to call that lady my name, is just such a downer and a trigger warning for me now. She needs to get on whatever Bobby's on his level. I know he's definitely not doing the Happy Eddie, but she needs to get cool like him because, like he said, water off of a duck's back. She has been dragging this for like 11 episodes, and I am over it. And then Wendy, I am so mad at her because she is in her bag this season. I'm sorry she returned it to Neiman's, but it is a great bag. She has graduated as a housewife this year, elevated, and is, except for the scene with her mom, who was super cringe, but I'm mad at her personal life because she is bringing it this season.
Yeah.
So far.
Thanks, Angel.
Thanks, Champ. Have a good one.
You too. And look, she's not even just bringing it with the fashion thing. Like, she's bringing it with, like, the personality, the comeback, like, even with people coming at her. So, all right, let's bring up, chat, we just hit 1,000 likes. Let me drop the call link for the general audience. Let me do that right now. Let me drop the call-in link for the general audience, and we are going to take calls really quickly because I have to be live again in like an hour and a half. All right. Let me say thank you because we had a couple of super chats as well. Jules, thank you so much for another super. Let me shimmy. You sent a few super chats, Jules. Jules says Charisse is just salty. She has to buy her own drinks at the bar, and Stacey doesn't. Damn. Duchess, thank you so much for the super chat. Duchess says it annoys me that the cast has never come for Ashley the way that they have done to almost everyone else. Why doesn't Ashley get a takedown season? I don't know if we want to see a takedown at all of anyone. If anything, I'd much rather a no Ashley season than a takedown season, to be honest. The Next Level Girl, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. We appreciate your support. Guys, you can also support just by liking today's video. Let's bring up San. Next, San, what did you want to share?
Hey, KEMPIRE, happy holidays.
You too.
So as a non-Nigerian African who is with a Nigerian who is... low-key messy. We watch reality TV with his aunts, and they're all Nigerian. The Wendy stuff did hit the Nigerian news really, really hard. And it's like, who is this girl again? I've seen her on Bravo. And then as someone who did just come back from Nigeria, it's just... So yesterday, I'm watching the show with my partner, and he's like, oh, yeah, Wendy's mom is never beating those witchy allegations. That's just all he had to say when she appeared on the screen. So when you rewatch, just as soon as she appeared on the screen as a Nigerian, that's what he had to say. And I said, I'll tell you. And
no, keep going. Don't rush. Keep going. No. Just finish your thoughts. No.
Let me wrap it up in a pretty bow. Wendy is having a good season regardless.
What African country are you from?
I'm from Southern Africa.
Why would you say it like that? Okay, I'm fine.
Because our countries are so low key. Like if I say which one, if I say I'm from Botswana, there's like so few of them. So.
They're gonna clock who you are. Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? But
okay.
yes, no, I'm not Nigerian, but I'm in the spaces. Just came back from Lagos, and it's interesting to hear the opinions.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you, KEMPIRE.
Call again. Thanks, bye. Woo! All right, let's bring up April Aries. April Aries, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hi, KEMPIRE. I just wanted to say I'm tired of the bitter Bettys, Ashley, Giselle, Angel, Kiana, because to have a meetup of Stacey and these lies when all of them have lied, it's just really blowing my mind, and it's very tedious at this point. And I caught when Monique was like, oh, well, I don't deal with people who deal with my ex, so then why are you on the show? Like, I can tolerate Monique, but then why did you come back on the show if you don't want to be in proximity of people that were attached to your ex? Like, make it make sense. It's not mathing. Have a good day, KEMPIRE.
You too, April Aries. Oh, look how she did that. She still had 5 seconds to go. All right. Tish is backstage. Tish, what were the streets saying? Someone make a time marker for right now.
Oh my gosh, KEMPIRE. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm at work, so I'm in my car, like with my notes.
Yeah. And she came with notes. All right, Tish, tell us. There ain't no timer on either.
Okay, thank you. So my issue is when everybody gets mad at Stacey for lying. I feel like the majority of housewives lie, with like the exception of a few. And Tia, knowing that she's given like these blatant lies, like I feel it's very hypocritical. So we already know she lied about her age, right? And we already know that she lied about her race. Well, she's lying. She lied even more about her age. Well, okay. So first and foremost, the streets are saying that this is her second marriage. She's saying that she met her husband when she was 19, but I did the math based on what I saw online. She actually met him when she was 17. And that was in 1996. But she didn't get her first divorce didn't end until 2003. So was she cheating on her first husband with this husband? And I saw the record. Like I actually saw like the divorce. Like his name was Dedrick Richardson or something like that. I'll send you the links on Instagram. But so she was married. She didn't get divorced until 2003, but she met her current husband in 1996, and allegedly they've been dating this entire time. So that was the big thing about her lying. The streets are also saying that she is not as wealthy as she appears.
I mean, the house could tell you that. Sorry.
Exactly. But the wealth that she claims that she had and has, as well as the lineage, there are people that have been trying to trace back her lineage and her royalty, and they cannot find where it connects. So I'm just saying, for someone who has already admitted that she's a liar, didn't downplay the lie to her husband about her age, which in my opinion, that was a really big lie. I'm sorry, I don't agree with her downplaying it. But the worst part about it for me is that she's jumping on this bandwagon of Stacey's a liar, but you're also a liar. So you should have grace for liars. Like people that struggle with the things that I struggle with, I tend to have more grace for versus ridiculing them. And I feel like that's where she lost me. I really want to like her, but you can't be a liar and then criticize someone else for lying.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And then there's also rumors about her husband in Chicago, but I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet. But once I do, I will send that to you. Because
is that the reason why they haven't been back to Chicago?
Yes, because it's been a very long time that he has not as well. So.
What?
Listen, I told you I focused on journalism and investigative researching. I'm on it, okay? I don't again, if she did not emphasize Stacey lying and try to jump on this bandwagon, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But when you start ostracizing other people, I feel like it shines a magnifying glass on you.
Mm-hmm. Tish, here with it again, bringing the tea. Well, we appreciate it, Tish. Report back.
I will. I got you in your DMs.
Thanks. Bye, Tish.
All right, bye.
Ever notice how ads always pop up at the worst moments? When the killer's identity is about to be revealed. During that perfect meditation flow. On Amazon Music, we believe in keeping you in the moment. That's why we've got millions of ad-free podcast episodes, so you can stay completely immersed in every story, every reveal, every breath.
Download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
Wow. Look, wow. All right, let me get to the rest of these calls, guys, because you see it's about to be 2 o'clock and I need to rewatch Married to Medicine. Housewives Lover, thank you so much for another super chat. I'm a huge Candace stan, but I'm glad this Monique is back, because I loved Monique before she beat the you-know-what out of Candace. I don't know if I ever really loved Monique. I think I loved Monique at that season 5 reunion. I was like, whoa, this is the Monique that I needed on this show. All right. The Next Level Girl, thank you so much for the super chat. Next Level Girl says, everything about Kay gives play, Monopoly money. Getting back together with a man because he took you to Jamaica, disappointing. Well, if you watch A Danish Deception, then you know nothing's impossible. Someone said I should do a live about the Danish Deception. Maybe I will. If y'all really show up. If y'all show up like y'all show up for my Potomac recap when I do Danish Reception, all 2,000 and something of y'all that are watching, y'all gonna show up if I go live for... Not today, though. I got 2 more lives today. Thank you so much. Kendra, breaking news. Todd has filed for primary custody and he's saying that he was pressured to sign the prenup via the Bravo, the Shade Room. Well, that will have to be at another time, y'all, because as you can see... I will do my research on that and report back to you guys later. Okay? Thank you, though, Kendra. Let me get to the rest of these callers. Cynthia, what's going on?
Hi, KEMPIRE. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good episode last night. I don't know what their beef is with Stacey. It's really getting played out, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And also, speaking of Stacey, I didn't know that she's 53 years old. She looks great. She looks good. And I really wish that Wendy did not commit that fraud thing because honestly, when her mom was showing off her body and her looks, I just automatically thought that maybe she used some of the fraud money to help her mom out, or I don't know. That's it, KEMPIRE.
Thanks, Cynthia. Take care.
See you next live. Bye.
All right, we have Audrey backstage. Audrey, what did you want to share? Audrey, you're muted. We'll come back, Audrey. All right, let me bring up Zakia. Zakia, what did you want to share?
Hey, KEMPIRE.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Just cooking for the night shift.
Oh.
What's it called? So, Stacey, Teflon Don, nothing sticking. It's not happening. They're trying it. Kiarna, I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. Every single time she starts talking about Stacey, that face comes out. The way she contorts her face whenever talking about Stacey, she is so bothered, and it's so evident. And for her mom and her brother looked at her mom immediately whenever they were talking about their situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yeah, oh dang, you're sad, you're miserable because of this situation, and you're the vacation home girl. It's unfortunate. All right, have a good day, KEMPIRE.
Thanks, Zakia. Take care. All right, let me bring up Keisha next. Keisha, what did you want to share?
Wagwan, KEMPIRE.
Wagwan.
Caller from Jamaica. Shout out to Ashley. We are healing and we are thriving. But I am over Potomac already, KEMPIRE. It's not. I give it like a solid 6.5. I'm just over them going at Stacey.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? Don't nobody else have anything else going on? And I'm sick of the whole catfish photo. I'm over that too.
Yeah.
Other than that, what do we have going on? So that's it. That's all. Look, I ain't got nothing to say. Because ain't nothing to talk about. So have a good one. See you for Married to Medicine.
Yes, thanks, Keisha. Bye. All right, let's bring up Audrey. Let's try Audrey again. Audrey, are you there? Audrey. Okay, we'll come back. Oh, wait, Audrey, are you there?
Oh, KEMPIRE, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, great. Just real quickly, I'm sorry. I think the service is a little bit spotty over here, but I just want to say this really quickly. Giselle, that moment right there with her kicking Stacey out and what have you, it is really just nasty, mean girl. And that's why I never believed the whole rebrand that she had. It never made any sense to me. I thought she was still that mean girl. And it's just really disappointing. And one more quick thing, the thing with Wendy and her mom, are we allowed to talk about the fact that her mom's look quite significantly. Am I the only one who's noticing it? And it's not just the weight loss. If anybody gets what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Now I can't hear you, but we see each other, Audrey. We see each other. All right, let me get to, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 people backstage, so I want to get through these folks really quickly because, like I said, I have my Married to Medicine recap. I also need to rest my voice, guys, because I also have another live after that for our Butter Cyber Monday sale that's going on. Let me bring up Carrie next. Carrie, what did you want to share?
Hey, KEMPIRE.
Hey.
Carrie in Louisville, Sagittarius Sun, Scorpio Moon.
Oh.
Pray for me.
Oh.
The Sag Sun is great, but with the Scorpio Moon, it's a lot.
Oh, okay. All right. Thoughts
I
on
think
Potomac?
Monique has a lot of pretty privilege. I think that's why she's so gorgeous. You always bring that up with Katie. I think that's what goes on with Monique. I agree with the other caller. Wendy is so smart and she knows that Stacey is popular and she's also entertained by her, but I don't mind because they've got a great dynamic. So keep dynamicing. And then Tia, we were rooting for you, Tia. I thought she was so authentic at first. And then now I feel like she's just completely drank the Kool-Aid. And lastly, all we need to know about Ashley, she fumbled Wale. Come on, girl. If you go to Wale's Instagram, I love when a straight boy takes risk with fashion, and you need to, everyone go drool over his Instagram right now. Yeah. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Carrie. Take care. And I was saying, I hope Wale finds a good woman. I'm glad that Ashley did not pick him. Wale, I hope you find an actual good woman. Mr. Melly Mag just said, Holy Ghost fire, yank the service down. Agnes is backstage. Agnes, what did you want to share?
Hi, KEMPIRE.
Hey, how are you?
My fellow Taurus.
Yes.
I'm calling from London with love. And I just want to tell you, I've been watching you and your rise, and I wanted to give you your props because we've been going through it the last 7 years, and you have made it look like it was easy, done quick, and with a study, and I love it. That's all I wanted to say to you. I got nothing to say about Potomac. They boring the hell out of me. But I love you. Bye.
Thank you, Agnes. Take care. I can't wait to get back to London and do a show. Stay tuned, London. Look, let's hope for 2026. All right, Geraldine is backstage. Geraldine, what did you want to share?
Hi, KEMPIRE.
Hey. Geraldine,
oh
do me
my
a favor.
gosh, I can't believe I'm on.
Oh, do me a favor. Geraldine, turn your TV off.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Another London babe, KEMPIRE.
I love it.
I've been watching you for ages. I can't believe I'm finally calling in. Okay, really, really quickly. These ladies are so determined to hate Stacey, it's actually gross. And the thing you said about Giselle showing her at the lift, that was really, really mean. I hated seeing that. Angel, very disappointed. Angel needs to go. And then Tia, so disappointing, the turn that she's taken. Yeah. I was absolutely loving her in the beginning. But this hatred for Stacey, she needs to jump off the bandwagon. Yeah. Form your own opinion, darling. And otherwise, we love you. Love you so much, KEMPIRE.
Thank you, Geraldine. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right. We're going to get to these last 3 callers really quickly. I'm going to bring up Shanisha. How are you?
Hey, KEMPIRE, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know I'm good. So listen, I'm gonna try to make it quick now.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Karen this season, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think Karen helps to give balance to the show. This season is all about conflict, and it's being driven by the original OG herself, Giselle, and everyone thinks they have to sort of produce like Giselle usually does, but there's no balance to the show. It seems like there are no actual friends this season. Like, I have yet to see a good homegirl sit down connection, chit chat. I'm just like, what's going on? Bring the grand dame back.
Yeah. Well, she will be coming back at the end of the season, so stay tuned. Buckle up.
Good.
Literally, buckle up. Goodbye. All right. Tiana.
Hey, KEMPIRE, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? Redirect us from what I just did.
Please do not let this cut into my 30 minutes, but I love you and I'm at work and I was trying to find me a room so I could talk. Okay, I love you so much. Sock passe, I am Haitian. I love you, love you, love you. And I agree with everybody in the chat. I love the vibes. It's just a family here. Okay, I got some notes too, like the other girl that was in the car.
Okay.
Stacey has lied, but she can maneuver her way out of the situations. And I think she is just that girl from when she was on QVC. She can just be like, the earrings, they're just so beautiful. And she is just that girl. And I feel like they jealous. I don't know what's going on with her and Timu or T, whatever his name is. But yeah, I don't know why they're on her job. I don't know why they on her job this season. And I wonder if her breath really do stink because she's so beautiful. And I don't know why Cookie ugly self was like, you need to go take a bath. Like, girl, was that the best read you had? I am not even a good reader, and I could have read better than that, honey. I absolutely love Wendy, but I just hate I love her. I think she is that girl with all them stolen fashions and them wigs be lit. I usually have my wig on, but it was after Thanksgiving and I sweated my hair out, y'all. And you know what? What's going on with her friendship with Candace? Because what's going on with her friendship with Candace? Because I feel like she just let Candace fall by the wayside. I'm talking fast because I'm trying to speed up. I'm trying to get my time. Okay, I love Monique. I love that she's back. She's unbothered by what Klarna tried to do. But I don't know. I want her to take time and get to know Stacey for herself. Sharice, why is she there? Sharice is not a housewife. She's never been a housewife. Her husband cheated on her the whole marriage. She ain't no housewife. Okay, I can't wait.
Tiana, your time has been up, girl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I enjoy you. Please call back again. You're funny.
Listen, I can't wait till they go to Colorado to see all that stuff that is going on with what's her name house. I cannot remember her name, but I think she need to go. And let me say this too. If I was a housewife, I would probably not be able to come back because I'm sensitive and they would probably get me. But she just is letting them see it. I would not let them see it. I would do like Miss Kenya did and cry in the bathroom. I love you, KEMPIRE. Merry Christmas.
You too, Tiana. Take care. Bye. She was hilarious. I love it. I love it. All right. Last but definitely not least, let's bring up Herbert. Herbert, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say this quickly. As a Nigerian who comes from a culture that is also steeped in a lot of very traditional and spiritual beliefs, I wouldn't want you to take the comments that was made by the person earlier to heart. I think that is just an opinion that is prejudiced for whatever reason. As much as when this whole stick recently was a mess, and I don't really subscribe to some of the things that her mom does, there really is no sort of look or anything that puts her in that perspective of being witchy in quotes. And it's dangerous, which is why the Nika thing was really annoying, because these are questions that are quite dangerous to put out there by somebody, because in your culture, you could, beyond even being just blacklisted, you could be offed in jungle justice for just baseless allegations like that. So I don't want people to just put out such narratives and have other people just believe in all types of shit about it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Herbert, for calling in.
Bye.
Bye. I think that's a perfect way to end today's live of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Guys, if you're a part of the replay crew, be sure to share your thoughts, opinions, and whatnot in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how you would rate this week's episode as well. Thank you guys so much for all of the super chats. We had over almost 50 super chats today. So thank you guys so much for that. Adrian, thank you for another super chat. Adrian says, the story Sharice tried to sell about Stacey fell flat. I agree with Stacey. What does conversing with a married man at an event have to do with her? Oh. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Noda Queen says, every time Kay comes for Stacey, she gets double teamed by the forehead Botox. Lord have mercy. Charge, thank you so much for the super chat. Charge says that Wendy's mother proclaiming that Wendy's wealth didn't age well. No, that entire scene did not age well at all. Housewives Lover, thank you for another super chat. Housewives Lover, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and a great food. I was on a cruise, not my vibe, but always good to see family. I see a lot of people doing cruises during Thanksgiving over the last couple of years. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it. All right, before we go, I'm going to timestamp this. I will pull this out and do a separate video. But if you're here, there was some breaking news. So thank you to Kendra for pointing it out to us. So I'm going to go through that. Then I'm going to go, and I might be a little bit late for our Married to Medicine live. The breaking news from our friends over at Us Weekly is that RHOA alum Kenny Burris' ex, Todd Tucker, demands primary custody and questions the prenuptial agreement. Wow, Todd, I thought this was not going to be a messy divorce, but apparently not. The Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kandi Burruss' estranged husband, Todd Tucker, is demanding primary custody of their 2 kids in the divorce court, Us Weekly can exclusively report. This is interesting because a lot of people pointed out that he was not in the Thanksgiving picture with Kandi and the rest of the family, including Kayla, his daughter. But Kandi immediately dispelled that and said, no, Todd was there. Todd was, he just left early, so he wasn't there for the photo. And they recently reunited for Blaze's birthday. But some of you were saying, I don't know. I think that Todd has been setting this up for a very long time and has been putting out there that he's the primary person that takes care of the kids. Remember the whole daddy daycare of it all. We also remember some people pointed out during the Kandi and Todd wedding special, they felt like, well, he did sign the prenup, but did he sign that prenup under duress? So they said on Wednesday, November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving, I wonder if Kandi even knew about this, Todd filed a response to the divorce petition that Kandi filed. He said that their 2 children are currently in his care and residing with him in Georgia, while Burruss, who's 49, handles out-of-state work obligations. She just announced that she's going to be in Anne Juliet on Broadway until March here in New York City. Yeah. The exes share a son, Ace, born in 2016, and daughter, Blaze, born in 2019. Tucker, who's 52, noted that Burruss's work obligations will, quote, continue to require her to be away from the children for at least the next several months, as he pleaded for primary custody. His filing noted that the parties have been working cooperatively in an effort to resolve all issues, and Tucker remains committed to continuing those discussions in good faith. Tucker said that in the hopefully unlikely event that they are unable to reach a custody deal, he will be seeking primary physical custody, joint legal custody. So that's important to know. So he will be seeking primary physical custody, joint legal custody, and final decision-making authority. He proposed that Burruss having substantial time and meaningful access to his children. So it's not completely messy. Tucker's lawyer praised Burruss as a mother. His filing noted Tucker wishes to make clear that he recognizes that Burruss as a loving and capable parent and remains sincerely hopeful that prior and continued discussions between the parties will bring full resolution of all matters. Oh, we're not done, y'all, because there's more to the story. Tucker admitted that he signed a prenuptial agreement before getting hitched on April 4th, 2014, but suggested that he was pressured into signing it without his lawyers around. Mama Joyce is somewhere and saying, I said it. You know she is. Some people said in that picture she was smiling a little too hard. So they're saying Tucker's lawyer said the agreement was, quote, was presented to Tucker without Tucker's having counsel. Even though Burruss, then counsel, had communicated previously with Tucker's team regarding a potential prenuptial agreement. Oh, damn. Despite that knowledge, Burruss's counsel presented the final agreement to Tucker for signature immediately before the wedding ceremony without any notice to or consultation with Tucker's team, who had been significantly engaged in the negotiation process, Tucker's filing alleged. These circumstances raised substantial questions concerning the enforceability of said document. Lord have mercy. These circumstances raised substantial questions concerning the enforceability of the said document. Nevertheless, Tucker remains committed to working in good faith to resolve this matter amicably and privately to the extent possible. So why would you question the prenuptial agreement? So are you going to be coming for the house? Maybe. Or the houses on that property. Are you coming for her royalties? Oh, Lord. The Next Level Girl says, Bravo, pick up the cameras now. Tucker's counterclaim for divorce also demanded a division of all marital assets, which does not include her royalties and things like that, or things that she gained before the marriage. Division of marital assets, both real and personal, tangible and intangible, between the parties. Tucker demanded primary physical custody, joint legal custody, and potentially alimony if the prenuptial agreement is found to be unenforceable. So I'm guessing the prenuptial agreement said that he would be entitled to alimony. So what he's looking for is if it's deemed, if the prenuptial agreement is deemed unenforceable, then he would be entitled to alimony. So Us obtained the divorce petition filed by Burris on November 21st. She listed the date of marriage as April 2014 and the date of separation, which is important. We haven't talked about this officially. The date of separation is July 15th, 2025. So I told you, some people thought, did she make this decision on a whim? No, they're saying that they've been separated, according to Candy in her divorce petition, since July 15th of 2025. Burr said the marriage was irretrievably broken with no reasonable hope for reconciliation. In her filing, Burr proposed joint custody of the children, claiming that it would be in their best interests. It makes me wonder, though, him asking for primary physical custody, what does that mean? Does that mean if the prenuptial agreement is not enforced, that he would be entitled not just to alimony, but also child support? What? You know what would be salt in the wound if his attorney was Phaedra Parks?
That's really upsetting.
I'm sorry. Sorry. It ran through my mind just randomly. Okay. So in regard to debt, all right. Oh, wait, hold on. So in her filing, Burris proposed joint custody of the children, claimed that it would be in the best interest. In addition, the RHOA alum said a prenuptial agreement was signed by both parties before they walked down the aisle, and she wanted it enforced. Of course she does. But some might say it did feel like he was pressured to sign it, but he did sign it. And it wasn't like he was given the prenuptial agreement a day before. In regard to debt, Burr said that parties possess debts that have been incurred throughout the duration of the marriage, which should be subject to equitable division directed by the prenuptial agreement. She asked the court to determine the amount of any child support award. So that's important. So she's open to paying some sort of child support or receiving child support. Burris announced the split to Tucker after 11 years via statement to People on November 21st. So she released it because she knew people were going to see that she filed. In her statement, she says, after deep thought and a lot of prayer, I've made the decision to move forward with a divorce. This is a difficult and emotional time, but my focus remains on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect. She says, I'm stepping into a new chapter, pouring into my work, my family, and my own growth. I'm grateful to everyone who supported us throughout the years, and I ask for privacy, grace, and understanding as we navigate this transition with our family. And she recently broke her silence talking about the split and saying that it was brewing for a while during her most recent Amazon Live. If you missed any of this story, you can definitely check it out on our YouTube channel. We've talked about it. I've done podcasts where I cover all of the details about this. But this is a breaking story that Candy Burris, in her divorce, Todd is now asking for primary physical custody, saying that Candy, based off of her career, is far too busy. And as you know, Candy's about to be on Broadway. She's doing Broadway and Juliet, and she's probably already here rehearsing because she's supposed to. Yeah, she's definitely here because she's premiering this month in And Juliet. And then she's going to be on Broadway until March. Lawyers, feel free to weigh in the comment section. Well, what could potentially the primary physical custody mean for Candy when it comes to child support, spousal support, and the fact that he's questioning if he had enough time and was able to seek legal counsel when signing this prenuptial agreement. Todd Tucker is asking for primary custody, but joint legal custody, but primary physical custody of the two children that he shares with Candy. And he doesn't want the prenuptial agreement to be honored in this divorce. Mama Joyce is somewhere saying, I said it. Just saying. Guys, we're going to continue this conversation in the comment section with this breaking news. As I said to you before, I will pull this out and put out a separate video, but you guys are here for the breaking news, so I appreciate you being here for that. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KEMPIREradio.com.